Yes.
Good. Yes, we are live. Good Monday morning, everyone. It is cloudy here in Bryan. I'm sure it is in Houston. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's sunshine coming soon. But we hope to bring some sunshine into your life this Monday morning. So you guys are listening to Author Talk. You guys know me, Amy, here with Russell, and Sandy's back again. Yay! And our lovely guest today is Deirdre Gilbert. So everyone say hi. How are you guys doing? How was everyone's weekend?
I'm doing great. I'm
It was
excited
great.
to be here. Normally I'm listening to you guys on my phone. So this is nice. I'm glad to be live and in person here.
Yes, Sandy came to party today. Yay! How was everyone's weekend?
And I had a great weekend because on Saturday, I went to the Social Saturday for the Houston Writers Guild. And Amy, I invited Dick Elam, who's one of our clients, and he's the only person I'm working directly with. And he's 92 years old, and so I invited him to be there. And he just had so many contributions to the whole day. I was really proud of him and excited, and he told me later that he had a great time. So it was great. I enjoyed it.
Oh, hey, James
Russell.
Hill.
Yeah, speaking of Russell, where have you been? What did you do this weekend?
Now, I got to tell you this story because I thought of this as soon as it happened. So there was an anime convention across the park from my high rise this weekend, and it was packed at the convention hall, which was nice to see because we're getting back to reality. But so I was taking my dog for a walk, and I have the friendliest little white schnauzer you've ever seen. Children all love to come up and pet her, and she's real sweet, but she is terrified of people in anime costumes. This one guy came over to pet her and asked me, and I said, sure, because she loves people to pet her. And he took a step toward her. She barked at him and then ran the other way. So I have a dog. She was terrified all weekend because there were people in anime walking around. She was terrified of them.
You know, how do you find out about those conventions at the George R. Brown? Because I didn't know anything about that, and I've got grandchildren that love anime. They would have loved to have done that.
Right.
So how did you know about
them like every 3 months there? Anime's because I live here, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're supposed to walk across the street and there's something going on.
Yeah, that's true. You can just always go see what's going on because there's always something going on.
Always something.
Always do, right?
Good.
And next weekend, there's going to be something going on for sure there. And we are part of that. And that's the
Comic Palooza.
And what is that again?
Yeah, my dog's going to be terrified again.
Okay.
So Deirdre, we have a lot of fun going to these nerd conferences, and a lot of our people we work with, the authors, write fantasy and sci-fi. So they
Plus
all
we're nerds.
They're nerds.
I like how she called it a nerd conference. I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
A nerd conference.
Yeah, and Sandy said they're nerds. Like, she's not a nerd, but you and I are nerds.
Yeah.
I
don't even know some of the characters that you guys talk about. Amy, for example, Amy, who are you going as? Who's your costume for next weekend?
Oh, I'm going as Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Verse, That's who. I've moved on from Captain Marvel, and I'm going to be Spider-Gwen, so I'm excited about it.
I can tell you that when she said that, I'm like, who the heck is Spider-Gwen?
Oh, Sandy! It's okay. We still love you. We still love you. But Deirdre, how was your weekend? Did you do anything?
Just campaigning a little bit and rested. And that's pretty much it. Just a little bit.
And we should tell people that Deirdre is running for governor of Texas in 2022. So
yes.
Nice.
Good. Congratulations. I don't think you've ever had a candidate for governor or anything like that on on
No,
Author Talk.
this will be a first for us.
Yes, it's first for me too, right?
Hey! We can all join in. This is
So
a
we can
first.
just all join in and just have fun, right?
Yes, James Hill, Sandy does need Disney Plus. You will
I
learn a lot.
Okay, I do have Disney Plus. I watched Soul, and I've watched several movies on there, but I have not watched anything from Spider-Verse.
Well, Sandy,
Yes.
Sandy,
I don't know
Sandy.
what's wrong with James. I'd rather slit my wrist than watch Disney Plus.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Bluey's on there season 2, and I think I've probably seen it like 800 times. But come on,
What?
And what was that? What's coming on?
Bluey. It's like a Disney Junior thing. It's a thing. Yeah, I don't watch adult movies anymore. I
I
watch.
know, I was going to say, when you have 2-year-olds, that is the kind of movies that you normally watch.
Yeah, I'm very out of touch. Like, I did not know Black Widow was coming out until I turned on Disney Plus, and I saw that I could purchase it. But I am not. I'm gonna just wait till September when it comes out, and I'll watch it.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna pay $29 for it. That's not my thing. But no, my weekend was fun. So Meadow turned 2 on Thursday, and so we celebrated it on Wednesday. And my family and Joshua's family came in, and we went to a trampoline park and just jumped galore and had a ton of fun. And she loved it. She got one of those trucks, like you use your feet to pedal, but it's a truck. And so we put Sky in the bed of the truck, and they just zoom around the house, and you can push it. It's been taken outside. It's gotten mud on it. It's great. She loves it. It's absolutely fun. That was my weekend. And, on an exciting note, Book Lovers Delight did have an exciting weekend. We sold out yet again. So we sold out. We did a reorder, and we are sold out again. So July boxes are officially closed.
Oh, that's good.
You can no longer purchase them, but we are doing our August box, which is going to have a humor fantasy book by Kevin Petway, and that is coming out in August. And so we're getting our giddies together, and we'll be sending out an announcement and social media posts and stuff shortly. But we are very grateful and excited about Book Lovers Delight and that opportunity. So it's been an exciting, eventful weekend. But with all that being said, Sandy, I'm going to kick it over to you, and let's get Deirdre talking about her book and her campaign for governor.
Absolutely. And Deirdre, I wanted to tell you that I wasn't sure when you and I first started talking on Messenger. And I looked back this morning, and 2011 is when we were first introduced, and I don't even know who introduced us, but I saw that you and I were communicating, and we said we're going to get together, and then, that didn't happen. And every couple of years we'd talk again. Yeah. And then this time is when I said, it looks like we're not going to get together in person because of COVID, but what about Author Talk? And I told you, and this was the date that we scheduled. So yay, I love it, love it, love it.
Well, actually, we saw each other years ago, and I believe it was at River Oaks Country Club or something, or you all were having a thing, but Sharon Jenkins, yes. I think she's the one that introduced me to you when we came to an event, because I think my first book was, Can I Just Have a little bit of what? And then I don't believe that I was attached to you after I wrote the second book.
Oh no, I did not know you had written the second book. So
yes.
So this book, I didn't see the first book, but this book is Mama Help Me Please.
Yes.
So tell us about that book, because it's got a great story behind it.
Well, the words are actually the last words my daughter said before she passed away. My daughter was actually the victim of medical malpractice. Ooh. And that is how that particular story began, or the message for me to get out the information of how, these things happen in a medical community, and how, there is nothing there but family, friends, and God, pretty much, to sort of get you through the process of learning about, the things that happen as it relates to medical malpractice. So those were just the last words that she stated. And I wanted, because my daughter had some disabilities, I basically wanted the world to know that, although she was disabled, that she was a human person. She was a person, and that she deserved more than what she got. And I wanted people to see who she actually was, the human side of her, the laughter, the fun, how she had grown from being 2 pounds, at birth, to growing up to be 22 years old and defying all the odds. So that's what my message was all about. And also it was a healing process for me as well. And also, being able to give information to people of how to maneuver through this particular process, because it's a long road to toe, and it's a hard thing to imagine anybody goes through.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes.
So in your description on Amazon, it says your daughter had charge syndrome, and
Correct.
charge is an acronym. So
Yes.
explain what that is to those of us that don't know.
Well, in the before, it was supposed to be a syndrome, but now it's an association after several years or years. Back in the 80s when she was born, no one actually even knew what it was. She was diagnosed by an eye doctor, a optometrist actually, who diagnosed her with having what we call coloboma, which is the C in charge. And because we actually did not know, what it was that she had, because it wasn't something like charge syndrome or something that you can readily identify by looking at the person. She had a lot of things internally that didn't develop at birth. And one of those things was the eyes. And she was blind at birth, but over time, she did get her sight. And, she was, you have the H, which is like a heart atresia. You have the A, which is an atresia as well. You have the R, which is usually come with, they said retardation because a lot of the oxygen. She was on oxygen for 6 months, actually, after she was born, because her esophagus wasn't connected at birth. Each child is usually different from everyone else. And the E is ear infections, constant ear infections. And so, a lot of the children who have charge usually do not live past infancy. If there's a huge group on Facebook, a charge association group on Facebook, and it's thousands and thousands of them. And many of the children, by the time they are 5, have already had 25 to 30 surgeries.
Oh, my
My
God.
daughter had 120 surgeries, and she survived each and every one up until the day of Valentine's Day, when she was a victim of medical malpractice. And so, she defied the odds, and she did some things that we never thought would ever be accomplished. And so that book, again, was just a matter of me being able to get through the process, and also to teach people how to maneuver through the system, and, to get some help, and that other people were going through the same thing. Out of that, as well, as I created the first and only nonprofit, the National Medical Malpractice Advocacy Association, where we actually assist those who have been harmed by medical error. We are the only one in the nation. And I just decided that, there was times where people needed guidance, whether it was an attorney, or whether it was healthcare, or whether it was counseling. We also have 2 lobbyists right now, which we've never had before. One in Virginia and one in Louisiana. So we now have 2 lobbyists who lobby for those of, in the medical industry. I've also, as you know, have just received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for all of my work.
Yes. Yes.
For all of my work for, over the last 11 years, for what I do for the social injustices as it relates to those in, whether it's medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, any and everything, pretty much, what as it relates to the medical field. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I mean, if you need medication and you don't have it, we're here to try to assist those that need what they need to just get through this process of the healthcare system.
Wow. Wow. Doesn't it feel great to be an advocate for something? I mean, especially something so worthwhile as that, as the medical malpractice and the aging. And as a person who is aging, which we all are, but I'm like already aged, there's so many things that you find out that you didn't know about when you were
Right.
younger. So many aches and pains that you just never dreamed that's what it was going to be like. So I love it that you're an advocate for all of that and that you have the nonprofit. And I'm really, really excited that somebody noticed and that you're getting this. So is it again? The president's
Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
lifetime
Yes.
achievement. Oh
Lifetime
my gosh.
Achievement Award.
And you're young to be getting a lifetime achievement award. That's
Well,
great.
I'm actually 60 years old, you know, so I'm headed in that direction.
You got to be kidding me. You're that great. That embitters me. Because,
Why?
you know, the other day I was playing racquetball. I'm 63 years old. And this older man came up and said, you know, you move pretty good for a 70-year-old. I was like, wow.
Said, no, that's not the good one.
So, wow. You look great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
people say to me, well, for your age, and I'm like, okay, for my age, you don't even know my age. So
Oh my gosh, I would not have pegged that though. I was thinking maybe like 40, 42, you know? Dang, I was not thinking 60. You go, girl. Look at you.
Well, I can tell you those knees, the knees definitely are 60. And you know, I used to run track in Prairie View when I was a trackster. So, you know, those pains are coming. Those pains are actually coming. But yes, I am just really excited about all that I've gone through. You know, it was just a process. And again, that book really helped me along the way. You know, a lot of people get angry, and I was angry, but I ended up knowing that I had to do something positive in order to survive. And so, you know, this has helped millions and thousands of people across the states. You know, I don't only just work in Texas, but we work all across the states and countries. So we've been all over the place, and we help people to just, you know, get what they need. We call it restorative justice. There's a restorative justice process or program that we have where we actually just try to step in and, you know, be that voice for whoever needs it. So that's what I do. You know, I've always loved to help. I'm a union person. I taught for 26 years, you know, was in the union as a teacher. So I've always fought for the rights of people. And that's just who I am, just being able to, you know, do the right thing. And it doesn't matter, just doing the right thing.
doing the right thing. I love that. Love that as a philosophy or a life teaching, or I love that.
Yes.
So, so the book is available on Amazon. I'm looking at it over here now.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Help Me Please by Deirdre Gilbert.
Yes.
So where else could we get your book? If somebody wanted to get a copy of your book, where would you tell them to get it?
They can actually email me or find me on Facebook, and I can, I have some books of my own here that we self-published and had a printer here. However, my printer no longer here since the pandemic. He ended up having to close shop. So I have yet to find another printer yet to print the books, but I do have some on hand if those that want one.
So, and you have a website, but your website is really more about your running for governor than it is about the book, right? Or do you have one for the book as well?
I do have another one for the book. Is Gilbert Deirdre at Yahoo. I think not Yahoo, at gmail.com.
Well, that's your email address. So
yes. No, Gilbert Deirdre at .com, gilbertdeirdre.com. I think
okay.
And if that's not it, I'll get it to you. I got so many websites. It's like, how many?
I know
Yes.
when I went there, and that's actually when I was doing the research on the book when I found, we've been Facebook friends. I was, as we said earlier, for 10 years now. And so I saw your website. That's where I saw that you were running for governor. And that's the image that I created to advertise today's author talk,
Thank
was
you.
the one that was on your website. So how did you decide to run for governor?
Well, that sort of, like I said, stemmed from all that I was going through with my daughter. As you know, legislation is one of the most important things that we are dealing with. And you know what's going on now in Austin. And as an advocate, that is one of the most important things that we need to protect us, is this legislation. And so the repeated refusal of my leaders to do something about legislation that protect people, that was one of my main reasons for running. I sat down at the table. I've been to Washington. I've stood in Austin. I've talked before committees and all of these things, and nothing was changed. Nobody wanted to move. Everybody wanted to sort of like just let whatever was going on be. And I felt compelled that, the only way that we're going to get some change is that legislation has to be looked at. And as you know, right now, that's a powerful tool, legislation, and they're using it to the hilt. But we also know that legislation is not for all people. And we need to start getting legislation created. And I know that as a governor, I don't write legislation, but at least I can hope and push that they would push for legislation that's for all people and that protect the rights of people, whether it's your freedoms, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in education. We need sound legislation, and we need it now. So that was the reason for that, is because I could not, with our present government, even who we have in office right now, calling, writing letters, asking for meetings and being refused to sit at the table to get that help that I needed, just made me move further towards saying, you know what, if no one else will, I can. I have nothing to lose, and I have nothing to lose. I just have a lot to gain, whether it's a lot of experience and whether it's a lot of education. I have a lot to gain from this, and being able to still help people along the way. And that's my goal, is to making sure that, our disabled community, our, senior citizens, all of those things are so important to me that we need change. We just need some change. I think we're in a dire strait. And if we stay where we are, I don't think that Texas is going to be able to sustain the pain that is about to occur, because we're already feeling it. So
I did hear yesterday on the news, I was watching news yesterday, and that Texas has about 270,000 people who become of age to vote each year.
yes.
So that means we have lots of, not millennials, because I don't know. Amy, do you know what the next generation is called?
Aren't they Gen Zs or Gen Xs? I think it's Gen Zs. I think I want to
Something
say.
like that, right?
Yeah, there's something. They're Gen and a letter.
Amy's a millennial, so we kind of know. We kind of got an ear
Yes.
for millennials.
Well, I'm the older millennial. I'm not the younger
She's
one.
not the new one.
Yeah, us
Yes.
older millennials, we classify as the original millennials, because we weren't the millennials that were eating Tide Pods. Okay, we're the older ones. Not
Right.
those. We don't. It's kind of one of those things with millennials. We have to separate. It's just
So we
how
have
we are.
about, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 2.5 million women actually who did not vote in the last election.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have quite a few. I was talking to the Texas Women Democratic Party and some other industries here, and I'm telling you that I think the problem is that for me, we've always had candidates placed on a platter for us. You know, I'm always calling it the steak. You know, we have the pork chop, you got your steak, and you have your chicken, and you usually have to choose between which one. And we've never had the opportunity to choose for ourselves. We've always had somebody to tell us who was in office and who was running. Now I'm running and I'm saying I'm going all the way. So basically that's how I feel, is that, you don't have to choose the chicken and the pork chop and the steak. You can, if you like lamb, maybe you can go for some lamb now.
And maybe you're a vegetarian or something.
Maybe so. Maybe you're a vegetarian and don't want any meat. So I think that is what the problem has been in politics, is that we either we didn't know who we were voting for, or we didn't like who we were voting for, and therefore we did not vote.
Could be. I'm sure
Yes.
that happens.
And that's what's happening in the world. And I'm hoping that I am the person that they would get to know and to want to have in office, not just because, a Republican or Democrat and all of these different things that we want to label people, but people as a whole, because we're all suffering here, and we all need to, I think everybody is just looking for just to live, and be able to live the life that we want to live and live freely.
That's great. Well, Deidre, this has been awesome.
Can I ask a question before
Sure.
we finish? Deirdre,
Yes.
I'm dying to ask you a question.
Yes.
When you were a little girl, were you the girl of action like you are now, where you're like, okay, get out of my way. You're not going to do this. I'm going to do it. Okay, get out of my way. You're not going to do that.
not.
I'm going to do that.
Actually not. I was a crybaby. I was the crybaby. I was the one that was always crying and, just, I don't know, just poor me, the only
I was
child.
a crybaby too. So
I know. And somewhere down the line, someone told me that I needed to be a little bit stronger.
Uh-huh.
And to speak my mind and not let people run over me. So it was over time that I grew, and then Russell too, I have a political science background. I couldn't, I was like, oh, you can't be a little quiet being that way. And so, yeah, I was the crybaby, but now it's like, get out of my way.
Turn into your own.
Yes.
Oh man, I love it. Well, I know that we wish you all the luck on your campaigning endeavors. I was born and raised in Texas. Texas is very dear to my heart. It's I call it home. I don't venture out of it. One, it's so big, and two, it's my home. So we wish you all the luck in your campaigning endeavors, and thanks so much for taking time to come and talk to us and to share your daughter's story and your healing behind writing your book. And I think that is incredible. And so Deidre's book is listed in the comments if you want to check it out. And you guys go and wish her good luck on her campaigning. But tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors, we are talking social media changes, things that are coming, different avenues to go down. And I know a bunch of you authors that are in Houston or are coming to Houston or gearing up for Comic Palooza. So we also will be brainstorming together on how to make the best of that experience. It is only 2 days this year. So remember, it's this Saturday, the 17th, and Sunday, the 18th. I'll be there as Spider-Gwen on Sunday. Hopefully, my fingers are crossed and I'm going to make it. If not, I'll be at Comic Conroe for sure Friday, Saturday, and I'll probably leave in half the day on Sunday. But you guys, it's going to be a fun adventure. So come and have an open conversation tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors. You all know I'm not a formal presentation PowerPoint structured person. I just can't do that. It's a conversation. I love talking and going back and forth and getting you guys the help that you need and you want. So tune in tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors. But to wrap us up, closing statements. Russell, I'm going to kick it to you first. I'm going to close out with Sandy.
What a pleasure listening to this woman of action. What a pleasure you were today, Deirdre.
Thank you, Russell. Thank you. Because I knew I had to pass by you first. Because I knew you were going to be on me.
You don't seem to have been too afraid of it either. I like it.
I saw you, though. I was looking at you. I was looking at you, Russell.
Oh, I love it. Sandy, what about you?
So, Deidre, I also thank you. You are definitely a woman of action. I love that. Love, love, love that. And I also was more of a crybaby when I was younger, and I got my, and somehow I managed to totally flip.
Yes.
And it sounds like you have too. So it's been great. I look forward to seeing more of you. And we'll have to talk about anything so we can do to help you with your election campaigning. So,
Thank you.
and also, when you go to your Facebook, would you put your email address in the comments?
Okay.
One that I tagged you on. And that way, if you want a copy of her book, and she also has another first book, as she mentioned, that we didn't talk about. So if you want to get in touch with Deidre for any reason, we'll put her email address in the comments.
Thank you.
Great to see you and to meet you again.
Too.
Or see you
Thank
again.
you so much. Thank you, Amy and Russell and Sandy. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to have you back. You are welcome anytime.
Yes.
Anytime. Well, everybody out there in Facebook world or LinkedIn, wherever you're listening to us, or on YouTube, remember, oh my gosh, Russell, I almost forgot. Remember to go like our channel or subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified, so that way it helps us in our algorithm and to build subscribers so we can help get those stories of more authors out to more writers and more people that would love their stories. So make sure that you go and do that on our YouTube channel. Russell's much better at that pitch than I am, but hey, I solved it. I filled it in at the last minute. Have a great Monday, everybody, and we'll catch you all next Monday.